You know what's absolutely hilarious? We spend our entire lives worrying about things that haven't happened yet, dwelling on things that already happened, and completely missing the fact that right now, in this very moment, all is actually well. I mean, think about it. You're here, you're breathing, you're listening to me ramble on, and somehow, someway, you've made it through every single difficult day you've ever had. Your track record for surviving bad days is literally 100%. And yet here we are, convinced that this time, this particular worry, this specific problem is going to be the one that finally does us in. Spoiler alert, it won't be. Let me tell you something that's going to sound completely absurd at first, but stick with me because it's going to change everything. The universe is actually conspiring in your favor. Yes, even with that impossible situation you're facing right now. Even with that person who drives you absolutely bonkers. Even with that bank account that's looking a little too familiar with the number 0. I know. You're probably thinking I've lost my marbles, but hear me out. What if I told you that the words you speak, the thoughts you think, and the beliefs you hold are literally creating your reality? Not in some wishy-washy, maybe, if you wish, hard enough kind of way, but in a very real, very powerful, very immediate way. Now, I see you over there. I see you struggling. I see you waking up at 3 a.m. with that knot in your stomach, wondering how you're going to make it all work. I see you scrolling through other people's highlight reels on social media and wondering why your life doesn't look like that. I see you trying so hard, doing all the right things, and yet somehow feeling like you're running in place on a treadmill that keeps getting faster. And let me just say this, your struggle is valid. Your feelings are real, and you're not crazy for feeling overwhelmed by this absolutely chaotic, unpredictable, sometimes brutally unfair experience we call life. But here's where things get interesting. The very thing that's causing most of your stress, most of your anxiety, most of your sleepless nights, isn't actually the situation itself. It's the story you're telling yourself about the situation. It's the words you're using to describe your life. It's the mental movie you're playing on repeat that always seems to end badly. And this is where we're going to flip the script, quite literally. See, there's this incredible principle that's been around for thousands of years, but we keep forgetting it because we're too busy being practical and realistic and all those other words we use to justify our negativity. The principle is this: your word is your wand. Every single thing you say, especially the things you say with conviction and feeling, is like placing an order with the universe. And let me tell you, the universe has the best customer service department you've ever seen. It never says no. It never judges your order. It just says, you got it, coming right up. The problem is, we're usually ordering things we don't actually want. Think about it. How many times today have you said something like, I'm so tired, I can't afford that, nothing ever works out for me, or this is so hard? Be honest, because every single time you say something like that, you're literally affirming that reality into existence. You're taking your wand, your powerful creative word, and you're using it to create more of what you don't want. It's like going to a restaurant and ordering the one thing on the menu you can't stand, and then being shocked when it shows up at your table. Now, before you think I'm about to tell you to just think positive thoughts and everything will magically fix itself, let me be clear. I'm not talking about toxic positivity. I'm not asking you to pretend everything's fine when it's not. I'm not suggesting you gaslight yourself into believing your problems don't exist. What I'm talking about is something much more powerful. I'm talking about taking control of your word, your creative power, and using it deliberately to shape your reality, instead of unconsciously using it to reinforce your fears. Here's what's actually happening on a scientific level, and this is where it gets really cool. Your brain has something called the reticular activating system. It's basically a filter that decides what information gets through to your conscious awareness and what gets ignored. Right now, you have billions of bits of information hitting your senses every single second, but you can only consciously process a tiny fraction of that. So your brain uses your beliefs, your expectations, and yes, your words to decide what to show you. If you keep saying, I never have enough money, your brain is going to filter your reality to show you every piece of evidence that confirms that belief. You'll notice every bill, every expense, everything you can't afford, but you'll completely miss opportunities, resources, and abundance that's right in front of you because your filter isn't set to see it. But when you start affirming all is well, something magical happens. Your filter shifts. Suddenly you start noticing the things that are going right. You start seeing opportunities you would have missed before. You start feeling more peaceful, more confident, more capable. And from that state, you make better decisions. You take better actions. You attract better circumstances. It's not magic. It's just how your brain works. So let me give you 10 powerful affirmations that are going to transform your life, starting right now. And I'm not just going to give them to you. I'm going to explain why each one works and how to use it in a way that actually creates change instead of just making you feel good for 5 minutes. Affirmation number 1. All is well. This is the foundation of everything. When you say, all is well, you're not denying your problems. You're affirming that despite appearances, despite the chaos, despite the uncertainty, there is a deeper order at work. You're affirming that you are safe, you are supported, and you are exactly where you need to be. Say this when you wake up in the morning. Say this when you're stuck in traffic. Say this when you get bad news. Say it until you feel your shoulders drop and your breath deepen. Say it until you remember that you've survived every single storm that's ever come your way, and you'll survive this one too. Affirmation number 2. I am divinely guided and protected at all times. This one is for all my control freaks out there, and I say that with love because I'm definitely one of you. We spend so much energy trying to figure everything out, trying to force things to happen, trying to micromanage every detail of our lives, and it's exhausting. This affirmation reminds you that there's an intelligence greater than your conscious mind at work. Call it God, call it the universe, call it your higher self. I don't care what you call it, but there is something that's orchestrating synchronicities, opening doors, and guiding you toward your highest good. Your job isn't to figure out how. Your job is to trust and take inspired action when you feel nudged. Affirmation number 3. Every experience is bringing me closer to my greatest good. This is the one you need when life throws you a curveball, when you get rejected, when something falls apart, when things don't go according to your plan. Instead of spiraling into, why does this always happen to me? You affirm that this experience, even if it's painful right now, is actually redirecting you towards something better. And I'm not asking you to take this on faith. Look at your own life. Haven't some of your biggest blessings come disguised as disappointments? Haven't some of your best opportunities come from things not working out the way you originally wanted? This affirmation trains you to look for the gift in every situation instead of just seeing the problem. Affirmation number 4. I am in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. Oh, this one is good for anxiety. Because most of our anxiety comes from being mentally anywhere but where we actually are. We're in the present moment, but we're worried about the future or rehashing the past. We're at our job, but we're thinking we should be further along in our career. We're single, but we think we should be in a relationship. This constant shoulding all over ourselves is making us miserable. This affirmation brings you back to now. It reminds you that you're not behind. You're not missing out. You're exactly where you need to be, learning exactly what you need to learn to become who you need to become. Affirmation number 5. My good now flows to me in avalanches of abundance. I love this one because it's so dramatic and fun to say. But more importantly, it shifts you from a mindset of scarcity to a mindset of overflow. Most of us are walking around with this underlying belief that there's not enough money, not